Alright everyone, this is a battle report for Bromance WarGaming, and we're doing something quite different here. I've moved to a slightly different army. I'm going with Bretonnia now. Thanks to Brad out there, he gave me a Bretonnian battalion with some extra stuff in it, which was excellent. And I've held on to it for a while, waiting and so forth. So now I'm starting to try it out to see if I like Bretonnians. And added to it, I had an old board game called Battlemasters, or a war game called Battlemasters, that had some figures in it that looked very much like what would be used in Bretonnia, a lot of men-at-arms, knights, and archers. So I've used that as some proxying in this, as you'll see when I show the army, just to give me a feel for it, whether I want to start spending more money on getting Bretonnian. So we'll go through everything, and I'll show you what my deployment is, and then Jody, I'm going against High Elves, and what his is, and we are doing Blood and Glory, and I've got 427 against your 5.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So we'll go through the deployment real quick. We've got 3 Pegasus Knights here. I don't got the don't have them attached to the stands right now, although we do have the models. We have a poor upset girl, Chloe. She's a cutie, but she's kind of upset because it's late. And it has the champion and the musician, a group of Knights of the Round, and they have the full command and the Twilight banner. Next up is a unit of 10 archers with a musician and brazier, so they got flaming attacks and the defensive stakes. 30 archers with musician and defensive stakes back here. This is my unit of skirmishing bowmen. They have braziers. I'm getting a vanguard. Next up, yeah, I got actually vanguard too. Next up is, here's 5 Braille Knights. Yeah, you see some cold ones because I kind of miscounted the Knights that I have. They have a musician. Next up is another unit of Knights of the Round. They have my, actually I need to move her over here. I just noticed that. She's going to be right here in just a second when I get to her. Has my general, which he has the Ogre Blade, the Grommel Great Helm, and the Shield. And I also have my BSB, who has the Biting Blade, Enchanted Shield, and Dawnstone. So they both have 1-up rerollables, and they have full command. Next up is my, as you can tell there, this is where you see a lot of the Battlemaster figures here. They are my Knights Errant with full command and the Errantry banner. I've got a Paladin in here with Crown of Command, Shield, Dragon Helm, Luckstone, and a Lance. So they've got he's got a 1-up with a single reroll. My Prophetess, which is going to jump over here in just a second, is level 4 life, and I've got Dwellers, Flesh to Stone, Throne of Vines, and Awakening of the Wood. Next up is my unit of 30 men-at-arms, and I have a Damsel level 2 of Beast, which I got Wild Form and Transformation of Kadan, which sounds kind of fun. And she has the Prayer Icon and Ruby Ring of Ruin. Just to go through really quick the terrain, got an awesome Sinister statue right here, which is going to shoot some lasers if we get within 6 inches, which I made sure I wasn't. We've got the
insane, not boiling, but like
the Raging Torrent.
Yeah, there you go, Raging
Torrent. Which gives the +3 initiative, and he has, of course, he has a
yay, chariots in there.
Those are just some ruins back there. A 2-story building. We decided on 10. And we decided beforehand 10 per story,
which I'm happy about.
So he has 21 archers, which are all going to be shooting. This is a regular marsh, a hill, and that is an obstacle back there. So yeah, so that's mine. Like I said, this is my first game with Bretonnian, and I'm expecting to make lots of mistakes And hey, if any Bret players out there can point out anything I did really dumb and just give me some suggestions, that'd be awesome. Now we'll go through Jody's list real quick.
All right. Well, Dallas made sure to buy me some beer beforehand, and his plan was to get me good and full of beer before we played, as he drank Mountain Dew. So I make a lot of stupid decisions, and I think that's going to work. But we'll see what happens. For my deployment, as he said, I have 21 archers in the building, just 20 shots each turn. Who knows what I'll shoot at yet. I have 5 Illyrian Reavers with nothing special, just naked. 5 Illyrian Reavers over here, same thing, just have the spears and light armor static. Way over on the other side, sorry Chris, I have a lion chariot. This time it's actually a lion chariot. I'd like to make note that I'm not proxying anything in this list. I actually have all the models. Right here, let's see, over here, sorry, we have 5 dragon princes. They have a champion, and that's all they have. Next to them, we have 18 white lions with full command. I think they have full command. They may, you know what, I don't think they have a musician now that I think about it. No musician, so champion standard, and they have the gleaming pennant. Next to them, we have a frost phoenix, which, despite the cool flame attributes on the top of him, he's actually a frost phoenix, because I don't think the frost phoenix looks really cool, so I'm going to paint him blue. Behind him we have my general, my prince, on a star dragon, who has the giant blade, charm shield, golden crown of Atrazar, dragon armor. So we've got 3 up armor save, discounts the first hit, discounts the first wound. And in front of him we have a noble BSB and a griffin, who is fully upgraded, who has a 2 up armor save in the star lance. So I'm hoping that I can do some damage with him. And then, like I said, we have more Illyrian Reavers. So this time I have no magic. If you look like my models are a little thin for 2,500 points, that's because I have 25 Spear Elves and another Noble with the, I can never pronounce this, Marian's Wayshard. It's a item that gives me ambushing. So in my turn 2, he'll hopefully come on the board behind all of Dallas's stuff and just decide to wreck his men at arms. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll put him in his archers and get some points. Who knows? That's pretty much where we're at. I do have to vanguard, but Dallas has to vanguard as well, so we're going to wait and roll off and record that at the bottom of 1. Christopher Schoaf, we call him Schoaf.
Schoaf rules!
Schoaf rules! Schoaf rocks!
And rules.
Schoaf rocks! So if anyone out there wants to hashtag Schoaf rocks on the internet or on Facebook, please do so. We're trying to trend it. We don't want to be trendsetters. We want other people to be trendsetters, and Schoaf rocks needs to be the trend. So he's interested because he's a nerd, but past that doesn't really know Warhammer. So I'm trying to convince him to get involved. I have about 1,500 points of dwarves down there. There you go. That I want him to play maybe on some free day, free night. He can come over, and Dallas can come over, or Matt can come over, and we can just have a fun game, drink some beer, and play a 1,500 point list. Anyways, he's recording. He's about to leave. I want to give a shout out to him and make this battle report at least 30 minutes, if not 45. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll come back at the bottom of 1 and let everyone know what happened. Thanks, Schoaf.
Alright guys, with Schoaf having left us, Schoaf rocks, we've got the turn 1 for Jody and his non-magic-y High Elves. Preach it.
Alright, well, as Dallas alluded to, I decided to play a list with no magic. And this is slightly inspired by a list I saw some guy named Luke, I think Davis, I could be completely wrong on that guy's name, do a bat rap of a guy he played against with what his mind was a tournament. It may have been Sustainable Center, something like that. I'm had a few beers. I can't remember straight. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, he's. I think that's right.
Yeah. Either way, I saw a bat rep with a guy that played no magic and a lot of monsters. I said, you know, that looks like a lot of fun. And since I'm all about fun lists and not necessarily about tournament ready lists, as you can tell, my last bat rep, I decided to play a fairly, in my mind, good tournament list. Not great, but good. And have no magic. So, as you can tell by my deployment, I didn't have any, and I don't have any in my ambushing unit. So, during my turn, I did a couple vanguards. I moved the Reavers up here, and the other Reavers up other side there. Just kind of coming down the flanks, not really much. I couldn't think of much else.
Just really quick, I did vanguard over to there.
He won the vanguard and moved over there. So, I don't really know what's going to happen there. Either way, I moved my chariot up. They passed their dangerous terrain test, no worries.
Sinister statue.
Yeah, sinister statue. So, pretty much after I moved my lions up, hoping that he'll charge me those Grail Knights. I would love that to happen. Let's see if he does it. I moved my three monsters over on his right flank. I'm hoping that I'm out of range of most of his devastating spells, unless he irresistibles, and everything over there except for the Reavers, I have to pass on a Strength 6 test, which for Dwellers, which we all know I fail regularly when it comes to important tests. So we'll see what happens, but anyways, I use my shooting, my sole block of 21 archers, 20 shots, at his block of skirmishers. Only got 2 wounds through. 3 was average, so very slightly under average. Got 2, didn't make him panic, but I really didn't see anything else to shoot at. Didn't really want to, get 2 wounds through in the night and make him roll a 1. Didn't think that was worth it, so I figured I'd get rid of some of this chaff. Since I have no magic, that's everything that I have. We'll see what happens. Since he prayed, of course I got first turn. We'll see what happens at his turn, see how he moves his units and counters my deployment.
Okay, and just really quickly, I also did the prayer icon on the men-at-arms, so they've got the word save going.
Because that would have been my target, get rid of some men-at-arms. Probably gotten 2 of them, just like the other guys. So, the 5-up and the 5-up, I said, yeah, not worth it. I'll get rid of skirmishers, get rid of some chaff. I like to talk, so I'm going to keep talking until I end the video.
Alright, I'm going to do that right now. Alright everybody, it was the bottom of turn 1 with the Brets. Did quite a bit of charging, not sure if that was a great idea, doesn't look too awesome at the moment, but we will see what's going on. I charged the main unit of my Knights of the Realm with my General, my BSB, and my Wizard at the Dragon Princes. I charged the Grail Knights and the Knights of the Realm into the White Lions. My plan was to do a little bit of things later to try to win that combat, and I'll talk about that in a moment. I did not charge my Knights Errant. I kept them from I rolled them, make sure they didn't charge after the Reavers, and they held, so I moved them up. I actually, after using the prayer icon of last turn, I moved my Wizard out of that unit over here. I moved the skirmishers that way and then moved her into the unit, and because my fear was that he was going to charge with the chariot into the men-at-arms and direct attacks at her and kill her off, so instead I got her out of the way after using the prayer icon.
I think that was a smart move, by the way.
Yes.
At least for that turn.
My Pegasus Knights moved up and are facing towards me now, so they're facing out that way. I think it may have been a bad positioning, but now that I'm looking at it later, but at the moment it looked good. So I'm kind of out of the charge arc of the big boys over there. Other than that, magic, I rolled a total of 5. I threw 2 dice at Throne of Vines. My plan was to 2 dice Throne of Vines, and then give the Flesh of Stone to the Grail Knights to make them Strength 7 and Toughness 7. I'm sorry, Toughness 7, against the white lions. That was my goal, you know, to make them wounding me on 5s, and you know, so I was figuring that would have been a good win. I threw 2 dice at Throne, and I rolled a 1 and a 2, so she was completely out. So all I had left was my beast with 3 dice left. I didn't see anywhere where a wild form would really come in handy at the moment, so I tried to do a fireball at the Reavers, and he dispelled it with his dispel dice. I didn't get nearly high enough to try to counteract him having 4 dice against my 3. Shooting was completely uneventful. I got nothing. So combat, my main unit over there completely wiped out the Dragon Princess, which was awesome. I lost 1 guy over there to that, and completely took him out. Actually, my horses got the last wound off, and he double won on the armor save from my horses, which was pretty cool. So I reformed, looking away from in that direction. Then over to the combat that really sucked. I felt like if I could get the flesh to stone off, I would at the very least hold for another turn. So anyway, he directed all of his attacks at the Grail Knights, as was the best idea, and completely wiped them out. My attacks back, I got 2 wounds through off of that. Oh yeah, let's go over here to these Knights around that charged. Charging through the marsh, you know, I knew I was going to make a lot of dangerous terrains. I felt like I would lose 2. I ended up losing 5 from the dangerous terrain. Yeah, so there you see the 4 guys left. And when they made their attacks against the White Lions, I got 2 through. 1, I'm sorry. He only lost 3 in that unit. Yep. Because of all the charges and everything, he was ended up winning combat because of the musician, and he.
No, you won combat.
We tied combat, and I won because of the musician.
Sorry, yes, that's correct.
And he made his leadership. He failed the first one, but got the reroll from being within the BSB arc. Yep. We did find out that he is actually within a gnat's ass of the leadership from the general too. So not that it really mattered after on the reroll. So yeah, so that's it. I'm lost 1 unit of my Grail Knights. Completely got wiped out because of some crappy magic luck, and my Knights of the Realm are about to get wiped out too. But hey, we got some more units, some more Knights coming up from here. Men-at-Arms way over there, and all this fun stuff back here. So yeah, so we're going into 2. Alright guys, we are at the top of 2. Jody, with a lot of combat this turn. 1 good for him, 1 good for me.
Yes. It was really interesting. I did a lot of movement. I moved my chaff up here, thinking, haha, I'm going to block his flying unit. Keep you know, focus on the word flying.
Yeah.
Over here I moved them to block his non-flying unit. Over here I charged right into his guys. We'll get to that in a second. Over here I charged this guy into them, and I'm not needing it, but we'll get to that. During shooting, you know, we were looking at the rules, and we decided that logically, since we decided 10 archers or 10 people per story, and there's a 2-story building, even though the rules say 5, we decided upon 10. We thought that made more sense. And 20 shots. Well, we couldn't really find in the rules where it said that the, you know, shooting from a building, whether they took hardcover or not from a unit in front of them. It really could go both ways. We both felt that. It wasn't just me being a douche. So we decided the bottom 10 would take hardcover, the top 10 would not, because that's logical, right? So the bottom 10 shot rolled like 4 6s. They rolled a wound and rolled like what, 3, 4 ups to, you know, to hit the second time on the 7s they needed. And then my other guys rolled, they got 3 through. Or no, they got like 7 through. That was crazy. I ended up doing a total of 6 wounds to his skirmishers from 20 shots, 10 of which being in hardcover. Totally luck in my favor. So that was great for me. He fled. you know, whatever. He's gonna, if he rallies, which he needs a 7, he'll be able to cast wild form or something. Not a big deal. Either way, it was great for me. In combat, my white lions killed out his knights, just flat out killed them. And they decided to reform this way, expecting the super unit, the Death Star, to charge them. I'm a little worried about that unit. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. My hope is to take 2 or 3, maybe 4, if I get really lucky, knights away, so he doesn't have as many attacks when I inevitably charge my BSB, Dragon, and Frostfire into it. We'll see what happens there. The flying unit that I thought, oh yay, is me, I'm going to block him. No, I'm an idiot, because fly over my chaff. So I decided to position my BSB in such a way that he should only get 2 in, although I think he's actually going to get 3 in, even though I only have an inch between them. We'll see what happens there. Whatever, it is what it is. I mean, I got to take what I take. I got lucky there. Over here, my chariot charged in. I'm thinking, I'll do like 4 or 5 wounds. He'll do like 2. He has a banner and a rank. I have a charge. I should be okay. You know, I'll hold at least. No. I did 3 wounds. He did
2
wounds. He had a banner. He had a rank. So and he had a musician. So we tied. And on a stubborn 8, of course, I rolled a 9. Because that's what I do. And then I rolled a 10 to flee, and I was all excited, and he rolled 11.
Them some fast men-at-arms.
So those men-at-arms were like, screw you. And then through the dangerous terrain, they said, screw you even more. I'm taking 1 wound out of 9, which is roughly average, so I can't complain there. But my chariot's dead. They didn't do what I wanted them to do, which was hold, and then take enough out of that to make it a little more manageable. But I can't complain since I fled his mage, and I destroyed a unit of knights. And my scouts decided, my ambushers decided to roll a 6 and move up. So I'm feeling good about that. You know, this is one of the things that I decided I wanted to play and have a little fun with. So I'm hoping that he won't shoot them so much that they'll panic and flee off the table. My thought is to run in there and just boom, 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 and ignore his knights. We'll see what happens. This is top of 2.
Yep, so we're going into the bottom of 2.
Yep.
And show for Alright guys, it is the top of turn or bottom of turn 2. How this happened. My main knights with my general and BSB charged into the white lions. They held. My other charge was my Pegasus knights into the BSB. Both made it. I was able to make the leadership on the on my Knights Errant, and during the remaining moves I swift reformed and moved them this way away from the Reavers and out of the front arc of the Phoenix. I swift reformed luckily on the men-at-arms, got the 5 and just moved them up a little bit. They're going to pretty much be out of combat the whole game. These guys, they reformed, and I left them there, just turned them around to stay as far away from everything as possible. These guys stayed still, took some shots, and got a wound through on the Phoenix. In Magic, I threw a couple dice I'd thrown at Vines. It held this time instead of last time. He let it through, so it stayed. Then next up, I threw 4 dice. I need to say that I got double 5s on the Winds of Magic, so I had 10 dice. Next up, I threw 4 dice at Wild Form on the Pegasus Knights. He dispelled it. And then I turned around and I threw the last 4 at Flesh to Stone to get on those guys to make them toughness 8, which came in quite handy. Again, shooting, I just shot at the Phoenix and plucked a wound off. Combat, this one over here, I did a total of 3. He did a wound to my BSB and to my one of my knights. So I did 2. I only did a few to him back, so I was pretty poor on the rolls, and he held. So I was thinking that would go a lot better, but it did not. But that's okay. We're there. Hopefully we'll be able to wear him out with the guys there, and that's the big thing, getting that banner. Over here, this combat, I threw all my attacks at his BSB. He threw his attacks back and didn't get anything through. I made a lot of good saves.
Yes, you did.
But the toughness did pretty well. Only got 2 wounds total, or 3 maybe. So he rolled well on the 6s. But I got the 2 wounds through to his BSB and took him out. So that was good. Got that. All I need to do is hopefully pluck those wounds through, and I can get the Blood and Glory win. That's my hope. So that's my turn 2. We're going into turn 3. All right, guys. We are at the top of 3. Jody?
Well, I don't really know how it's looking. It's kind of depressing, but we'll see what happens. Because, as you know, he destroyed my BSB. But I wrecked his guys over in that little corner combat and overran with my Griffin, who made his leadership test, and my Dragon and General. So if he kills my BSB in the white lines, I lose flat out. I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get destroyed. But as long as I can keep my white lines for one more turn on his turn, I think I'll be okay. We'll see what happens. During combat, I lost by 2. So these guys, which were in 18 of my general, won an 8. Because when Spire 10 is 8, and they made it, so they held. My white lines were stubborn on 8 plus 2 for the general, which was a 10. They held. I killed 2 guys total. Didn't do any more wounds to his BSB, which I was really hoping I would kill this turn. But now I only have 5, 6, 7 white lines left. I don't really think I'm going to win this game because of the scenario. Going into bottom of 3, I think if it was any scenario but Blood and Glory, I'd be okay. But since it's Blood and Glory, I have no choice but to kill this unit. If I don't kill this unit, I can't do anything. So we'll see what happens. I mean, pretty much, like I said, if I lose my white line standard, I lose the game. There's really no risk of that other than that unit. Even though that unit over in the corner had toughness 8, I was able to static res him. I think I'd actually plucked 2 wounds through because my dragon is strength 7. And I got a wound from somewhere else. I mean, I just had so many attacks. I was able to pluck one through. But I just don't know. I really don't know how it's going to go. I think Dallas is going to come out with a win. Partly due to my poor luck. Partly due to the fact that we rolled a scenario and I just didn't have the foresight in this list to put more than 5 standards or 5 fortitude in it. So that's really my fault. If I would have had a few more standards, I think it would have been okay. Like a standard in the musician, in the archers would have been golden right now. But I've talked for a long time, so we'll come back to bottom of 3.
Okay. A few other notes. He uses spells to dispel Throne of Vines.
Yes.
He also charged both my archer units with his Phoenix. They both failed terror. This archer's fleeing almost off the board, probably will be. He charged the other one. They failed also and fled. He caught them, and so they are off the board. He also shot my skirmishing archers, and I have the wizard all by herself out there, so she's all by her lonesome. Poor her. So yeah, that's where we're at, just to show you the board. And we're going in the bottom of 3. Alright guys, it's the bottom of turn 3. My charge was, I charged the Reavers with my Knights Errant. He stood with that. That was really the only thing that I did movement wise, except I was moving the wizard to be within 24 of them and out of 30 from the archers. Compulsory, I didn't make the leadership on those guys, and they fled off the board. They're just hanging out right there for the moment. I moved the men-at-arms a little bit. So, didn't have any shooting. In Magic, I did Throne of Vines. I got 10 dice again. My Throne of Vines, he let it through because I rolled quite a high result on that. Then I did a wild form. Got that through. He had to let it through. I 4 diced it. Got high on that one because he was waiting to get rid of Flesh to Stone. I cast it, but he dispelled it. Then when we go to combat, I charged the, as I said, I charged the Reavers. I won in combat there, and I needed an 11 to overrun into those. I didn't get it. I got like a 4 or something like that. So the big combat was over here. His Reavers are bosses, even with wild form. Him needing, toughness 4 on over there. He plucked another wound off with the Reavers. They are some badass dudes. Then my Lord got in, only did 1 wound again, which is really ridiculous. I believe he got another wound through with the White Lions, but in the end I did enough wounds to get rid of his standard, which with Blood and Glory ended up being the game. And it's very late, so we're not really going to keep going with it because it's like 3 in the morning right now. Our games seem to go go forever. Anyway, so that was it. Some last comments from me. Life, let's see, I'll go with Magic first because I wasn't sure what the lores. Life really did well. Gave me some staying power, which is kind of what I need in certain situations. I know actually Matt always says he hates the lore because it basically keeps you from losing. It doesn't help you win. But I think it actually, in this case, helps because it keeps some of the blocks up longer, can give you a chance to get some more blocks in later on, since we're only good on strength on the charge. Other than that, still very scared of strength 6 if I can't get any of that stuff off. Although the 5-up ward save really is awesome against like White Lions and such, when I can get them into into combat with those guys. So really, as far as like MVPs for me, is definitely the main block over there. Even though the Lord didn't do much, just the whole block was rocking pretty well. The Pegasus Knights also, I commend them on taking out the BSB. That was quite awesome. Things I've learned from this is that Grail Knights are really good. They just are way too expensive, and die way too easily for the amount of points, 38 points. Other than that, I think work on the men-at-arms. Got put way out, and after the lion chair did nothing. And also maybe need to work on the peasants. They, I got way away from them, and they couldn't use any of my knights leadership. So once anything with terror came in, I was just running all over the place. That wasn't what I needed to do. I'm trying to think of anything else. Just another shot of the sinister statue overlooking all. I think it would be awesome if he came to life and started stomping all Godzilla-like over the board. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe need to come up with some sort of Godzilla monster for some sort of scenario. That might be awesome. Anyway, that's most of my points. Again, any of you Brett players watching this, see any pointers, any comments on on things what I should have done. Just to let everyone know, I really think with this list, it would be really tough not going for Blood and Glory against all the monsters. I'm not sure how well I would deal with them, although if my magic held up like it's been the past 2 turns, I think I might be okay. Especially if I could get Flesh to Stone out and let like my my lords and such do the work for me if I had to get in combat with them. So, yeah, those are my comments. We'll turn it over to Jody and let him give some final few remarks.
There's a few things that really killed me this game. Thing number 1 was, as per my norm, I had some really bad rolls. My BSB and the Griffin, even though he got Flesh to Stone, should have made at least 1 or 2 of the saves, and didn't make any of them. So he died right out, and that really hurt me, because that, of course, on Blood and Glory, got rid of a fortitude point. Another thing that really hurt me was at the last combat, this guy back here only was in base with my Reavers, not with my front line. He should not have gotten to attack my front line, and I didn't even think about that. And the fact that he did enough wounds to kill my BSB killed me. So, I mean he's gone. Blood and Glory again, losing my BSB in the last.
Well, actually, to point on that, he can make a supporting attack if going forward.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong, and that's fair enough if I'm wrong. But even so, strength 3 on 3 attacks, killing 2 guys on a 5-up. What are you gonna do? I had really bad rolling as par for my core, so I don't know what to do for any list if I'm going to continually roll poorly. I rolled okay in the beginning. He rolled poor on magic. I know not having a Dispel Scroll hurts me, which makes me think maybe if I actually play this list, to put a Dispel Scroll in either my archers or my ambushing unit. But that would have saved me for 1 round. It may have saved my BSB. Actually, it wouldn't have saved my BSB because he died because of wounds. So I don't really know what to do. If I really roll statistically below average in every game, there's not much I can do. So other than taking like Death Stars or Hordes, where I just have attrition no matter how many I lose, I don't know. I felt this list should have beat him, and I think that in anything other than Blood and Glory, I would have beat him, considering even in this combat down here, he would have still killed my white lions, but that's fine. He would have only had the 2 knight units left. On my turn, I would have been able to reform my guys. Even if he charged me, I'm not too worried about that. So I know I would have felt leaves with my prince. I would have got my Phoenix in. I would have killed his Death Star, and I mean that's the thing. Like non-Blood and Glory, I think I would have been okay. Blood and Glory not having but more than 5 standards kills me, and I don't play, like I said in the beginning of the match, I don't play lists that are strategically good in every D6 roll of a battle. I want to play fun lists. So if I lose 90% of them, but I had fun, that's all that matters. I have to play 3 monsters. I had fun playing them. It's never fun to lose, but my white lions killed a crap ton of guys, which is great. If it wasn't Blood and Glory, I think I would have been okay. My ambushing spears did what they needed to do. They got rid of a crap ton of points. Point-wise, I've won on the board. You know, I mean, the game is what it is. Not having magic, as far as the dispel scroll, he never irresistible, so I would have been able to dispel one spell. Probably would have been the one where my BSB lost, but you know, I did what I wanted to do, which was take out, you know, majority of his unit, make him fight my white lions and my chaff, which he did. He got lucky and killed my BSB, which kudos to him, you know, for taking that chance and winning. It was still a fun game. I don't regret my list. I think, like I said, I mean, I really limited what he had to cast. He had Throne of Vines, and he had Flesh to Stone and Wild Form. Those are the 3 spells he had. And as much as in the end, you know, well, actually, in the end, none of them really hurt me. Honestly, like, looking back on it, my armor saves wouldn't have made any, even if he didn't have Wild Form. Wouldn't have made any attacks go through, even if he had Flesh, other than his Pegasus Knights. So, you know, in the end, I don't think it's a bad list. I don't think not having magic is bad. I don't think I played a poor game. I stayed away from his main combat blocks. If it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't Blood and Glory, I would have been fine. Since it was Blood and Glory, my main options were to keep my BSB, my spears, and my general alive, which I did, except, I mean, I can't do anything if he rolls well and I roll poorly. So, you know, it is what it is. On the bright side, if I would have massacred him, we probably wouldn't have played Brets anymore. And I really think that his Bretonnia list is one of the few lists that I have a good chance against. So I want to play him more. Play him more, Dallas.
Alright guys, so it's super late, and so that was the game. So yeah, Brets pulled out a win. I was actually rather worried about going up against it. I wasn't sure what I was going to do myself, but anyway, that's that, and hope everyone has a good night, and hey, show frogs.